Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. All members are present. Approval of the agenda. Just one addition on the consent agenda, the application for the exempt permit for Center Mat Youth Wrestling. Is there any other changes? Council? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with that addition?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Shellen, second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the November 15th, 2023 regular meeting. You all received them in your packet. Is there any changes, corrections, clarification needed on those minutes? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 15th meeting?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Heidi, second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. This now brings us to our public open forum. This is separate from the public hearing that we have following. Is there anyone that wants to speak to the council? Is there anyone that wants to speak to the council? Call a third time. Is there anyone that wants to speak to the council? Okay, our public open forum is now closed. We will now move on, recess the regular meeting, and move into our public hearing 2024 budget presentation. We have one public hearing before us this evening in accordance with the official mailed and public notice in the matter of the 2024 budget and tax levy. It is our intention that everyone has the opportunity to be heard. If you wish to speak, please sign in on the sign-up sheet at the back of the room. The procedure is as follows. Presentation by staff, followed by questions of staff, then public input. Raise your hand. When recognized by the mayor, approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. State your comments and position. No one will be allowed to speak a second time until everyone has had a chance to be heard. First, we will hear questions for clarification. Second, public in favor of the proposal. Third, public speaking against the proposal. After everyone who wishes to speak has had the opportunity to be heard, the hearing will be closed. After closure of the public hearing, the council will deliberate and take action as appropriate. Members of the audience do not participate in the council's discussion unless a majority of the council concedes to hear additional information or questions. The hearing is now in session. Vicki?
So as you said, this is the hearing for the 2024 budget, and this is to give the public an opportunity to ask questions and comment on the budget as well as the city council. The budget that you were presented represents a change to the preliminary budget. And at that time, in September, we know more now than we did, we know more now than we did then, put it that way. And this includes the insurance rates that we now know about, and also both of the union contracts that have been now settled. And so we are as close to our estimates as I think that we're going to get with this budget that is presented before you tonight. This resulted in a change in the general fund, leaving the proposed revenues over expenditures by $6,009. That's how close we ended up, so that was quite close. The council asked for a levy increase of 10% to cover increased costs. In 2023, we increased 3% for costs and then 6% for that debt service for that new bond. For the proposed levy, we estimated it would not create an increase in the tax rate due to new development and property value changes. After all jurisdictions presented their budgets, we're talking the school, the county, the city, and the other taxing districts like the watershed. The new rate was calculated that resulted in a decrease in the city tax rate very slightly from 46.373% to 46.023%. And you have that chart of tax rate trends showing how we rank amongst all the cities in Stearns County, and we're squarely in the middle. This new rate was applied to all property values and sent to the owners in the last few weeks. The overall rate from all jurisdictions resulted in a decrease in rate from 123.681 to 116.38. However, many saw some increases because their values increased, but their tax rate, if it was applied to the same value, you would have seen a decrease. I don't have any other information other than having provided you the budget ahead of time, so you had time to look at that. And then also, actually, our tax rate going all the way back to 2006 to 2024. And then, of course, as I said, the ranking of the city with the other cities in Stearns County. Do you have any questions on the budget itself?
Council have any questions? Understand? Basically, if you look at that tax rate, that's a pretty good decrease considering what it was in 2006.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no questions from council, do we have any questions from the public? In favor, against, or need clarification? Does anyone here want to speak to the council about this proposal? Call a third time. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor, against, or needs clarification on that budget presentation? Hearing nothing, council have any last minute questions? Our public hearing is now closed. We will reconvene our regular council meeting. Reports and presentations, we have none. We will then move into action items. 7A, approve resolution 2023-87, adopting the 2024 levy.
So this is the levy presented in resolution 2023-87. This proposes levy of $1,794,128 to the general fund, $188,500 for our special revenue funds, including library, EDA, senior center, arena, and the repayment funds, and then $526,000 for debt service for bond payments, for a total 2024 levy of $2,508,628. And so that is what I'm asking you for tonight, is to approve the resolution adopting this property tax levy collectible in 2024.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-87?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7B, approve resolution 2023-88, adopting 2024 budget.
So this is the budget that levy will support. The total budget presented is general fund, $4,605,000, special revenue, $2,311,000, TIF, $386,000, debt service, $2,304,000, project funds of $520,000, for a total all funds expenses of $10,128,086. So that is resolution 2023-88, adopting the final 2024 expense budget and also the revenue budgets that support those expenses.
Questions, concerns?
I don't think the public really realizes how many hours that the staff and the city council works to get this budget ready. It's a lot of hours. You just see us up here a couple times a month, but we have a lot of other meetings. And thank you too, Vicki.
Thank you.
That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2023-88?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Shellen, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7C, approve resolution 2023-89, approving inter-fund transfers.
So this year, at the time of the year, the council approves various transfers between funds, and I do have it on an Excel worksheet, but also in summary form. This transfers the fire department's share of the city hall bond fund, bond payment to the bond fund, stormwater fees to the bond fund that one supports. Future equipment purchases are set aside in a sinking fund. This year, we have those public safety dollars that are coming into the city, and we're putting those into the sinking fund, and next year, that's the body cam money. Also, we're moving some current year purchase from the sinking fund back to the general fund. That's half of the street sweeper. Then the apartment complex abatement, that's Main Streeters Apartments. And then there's some TIF administration funds to go to the EDA. And then if you recall, we had that intersection project at Authors, and the leftover money from the street project was getting transferred to there. You'll see that in here. The majority of the funds has to do with the funding of Authors. Money transferred from the hospital, there's an interfund loan, there's some stormwater utility money, some ARPA money, some things that funded that. So that's the majority of it. And then we have the airport, we have an operating contribution to the project fund each year. And then we're closing the 2021 airport project into the 2023. We're just moving the unspent funds into there. And then also we had some, in TIF 116, there was a few dollars that needed to be transferred out of there. So we have a total of transfers this year of $2,453,158.28. These aren't really expenditures, this is just moving money between funds in the city. So that's Resolution 2023-89, approving interfund transfers.
Questions? Concerns? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-89?
Motion to approve.
Motion by
I'll
Joe,
second.
second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve Resolution 2023-90, designating polling place.
This is to be in compliance with Minnesota Statutes 204B Subdivision 1, where we every year have to designate our polling place for the upcoming year, whether we plan on having elections or not. In 2024, we'll have 3 elections. We'll have the March presidential primary, we'll have the August primary, and then we'll have the November general election, all of which will be here at City Hall. So this resolution, 2023-90, designates the polling place of City Hall for all elections in 2024.
Questions?
Vicki, is Minnesota an open primary or closed?
You have to vote on your side.
Okay, so it's a closed primary, okay.
And then the presidential primary, that will be in March, you actually get a different ballot. But the primary,
Right.
it's split.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-90?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi,
I'll second.
second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7E, approve Resolution 2023-91, approving minor subdivision.
So Wayne Senst is the owner of property on the dead end of Morning View Road. He's made application to subdivide the property, which would allow him to sell a portion to the neighboring at 107 Morning View Road. I do have a snippet of the survey in your packets and also the aerial, so you can see what property I'm talking about. He'll sell approximately 30 feet along the common boundary of the properties for a total of .18 acres, which will then be added to the buyer's lot to create a larger parcel. There's an intent of a future detached accessory structure to be there. Both lots continue to meet the minimum standards for a residential building site in the R1 zoning district. And so what we have here is to approve Resolution 2023-91, authorizing the minor subdivision.
Questions? Concerns? Everyone knows where this is,
Yeah.
I take it? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-91?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Shellen. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7F, approve Resolution 2023-92, approving minor subdivision.
So Cody Nelson, doing business as CSNP Sauk Center LLC, has requested approval of a minor subdivision or lot split to subdivide a twin home into 2 separate parcels. This request is to split an existing parcel of land. The intent is to sell each side of the newly constructed twin home to separate individuals. The proposal meets the criteria for a lot split in the zoning district. The parcel is 28,428 square feet total. Each site is provided with separate utility services. The resulting legal descriptions were prepared by a certified land surveyor. This split also adds an easement along the northerly boundary that, when combined with the already existing easement on the adjoining property, provides for access to property to the east for future potential utility services. In short, it gets to Outlot C back on behind in the field of Eagle's Nest. So there's another way to get sewer and water back to that property. And then I did include a snippet of the survey in your packet with the red line depicting where that property split will be. And so we're looking to approve Resolution 2023-92, authorizing that minor subdivision.
Questions, concerns? This is only for 2 parcels because we got another one coming up
Yes.
with the other 2, I take it?
Yep, there's 2 separate ones.
Okay. Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-92?
So moved.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7G, approve Resolution 2023-93, approving minor subdivision.
This subdivision is almost ditto to the one that we just did, except that it is the southern lot of the new plat of Gulfview. So we will not be able to record this until that new plat is recorded, which Warren just signed about half an hour ago upstairs. So once that gets recorded, then this can get recorded and allow for the sale. And so what we're looking here is to approve Resolution 2023-93, authorizing this minor subdivision, and this splits the second twin home north of Fairway Pines into 2 sides.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-93?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Shellen, second by Diane. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7H, approve labor agreement, Public Works Department.
So the Personnel Committee has met with the Teamsters over a period of months and have arrived at a tentative agreement for the labor agreement for 2024, 2025, and 2026. The committee now recommends changes as follows. They add Juneteenth as a holiday. They add the sick and safe time accrual for part-time and seasonal employees. They increase the boot stipend to $300 from $250. They did add a category of a 40% contribution to health care single premium for retirees after 30 years of service. They also changed the health insurance contribution from 100% single, 85% family to 100% employee, 85% dependent. They are adding a 1% longevity after 15 years and 2% after 20. They removed step 1 and we changed to a 7-step scale versus the 8-step. And a salary adjustment's the same as the police of 7%, 5%, and 3% for the 2024, 5, and 6. And I got word yesterday that the union did vote, and the membership voted unanimously for this proposal. So we're looking to approve the labor agreement with the Teamsters for Public Works for 2024, 2025, and 2026.
Questions, concerns? Otherwise, I look for a motion to approve the labor agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Diane, do a second.
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7I, approve Resolution 2023-94 declaring property excess.
The police department has received through forfeiture vehicles that are now available to be sold. They're to be advertised through the state of Minnesota online auction with the results brought before a subsequent meeting. We have a 1979 Chappie motorcycle and a 2008 Buick LaCrosse. So we're looking to approve Resolution 2023-94, authorizing the advertisement for sale of the forfeited vehicles.
Questions or concerns?
Has anybody ever heard of a Chappie motorcycle?
No.
I haven't.
I
But
Googled it.
I did look at the Buick. You have? Oh, wow. But the 2008 Buick LaCrosse, it's a nice-looking car. I'll
Do
make
I-
a motion to approve.
Okay, Diane makes a motion to approve Resolution 2023-94. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7J, approve HRA resignation.
So Pat Robichon has submitted his resignation from the Sauk Center HRA Board effective November 1st, 2023. His term was already set to expire March 31st, 2024. They now go south for the winter, so he's going to step aside and not renew. So we're looking to accept the resignation of Pat Robichaud from the HRA Board effective November 1st, 2023.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept Pat's resignation?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Shellen, second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7K, approve appointment to HRA Board.
So Nancy Anderson has applied for the open position to the HRO Board. However, her residence is outside of the city limits. The city code does allow the appointment of members to committees and boards if we're unable to find somebody in cases of lack of interest or availability of potential employees who meet the residency and voting eligibility requirements. We did advertise this position, and she's the only person that applied to be on it. I believe we also have one that lives a couple houses south of town that's also out of the city limits that is on that board. But because the HRA serves a greater area than just the district, it might be one that you would want to consider allowing that to happen again. So the request is to appoint Nancy Anderson to the position of the HRA Board, which would finish out Pat Robichaud's until March 31st of 2024, and then an additional 5 years after that.
Okay, questions? Do I have a motion to appoint Nancy Anderson?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. We have no unfinished business. We have no new business. This now brings us to our consent agenda. We have a schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $106,668.52. Paid claims of $166,639.61 for a total of $273,308.13. We have Resolution 2023-95 accepting contributions of $136.75 from the Men's Card Playing Group be allocated to the Senior Center, $1,000 from Danwelly Southtown to be allocated to the Ambulance Department, $200 from Jeanette and Vern Pfeffer to be allocated to the Police Department, labor, and $500 from the Girl Scout Sauk Center, which was allocated to the dog park in the Park Department, and $4,000 from Walmart for Shop with a Cop to be allocated to the Police Department. And on behalf of the council and the rest of the city, I want to thank those people for those contributions. We have resolution number 2023-96, approving off-site gambling permit for the Sauk Center Youth Hockey Association. Permit would allow for a raffle to be held on January 29th, 2024 at the Sauk Center Civic Arena. And then resolution number 2023-97, approving an off-site gambling permit for the Sauk Center Youth Hockey Association. The permit would allow for a raffle to be held on February 15th, 2024 at the Sauk Center Civic Arena. We also have gambling application for exempt permit request from Center Mat Youth Wrestling for bingo on February 17th, 2024 at the Sauk Center American Legion. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the consent agenda? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane.
I'll second.
Joe will second. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. We have no informational items, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Shellen, seconded by Heidi.
Sounds good.
Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.